So between your mom and dad, who came up with the idea of getting Sadie?
You know what Labradors, once you see them, their face, their coats, their size, it just screams energy. It just screams love.
Gentle giants.
Exactly.
Those puppy eyes.
Yeah.
Those puppy eyes, that beauty. And when Sadie was a couple of houses away in the complex, and every time we drive past, even though those neighbors that owned Sadie and moved out and left her in the yard, every time we drive past, we always saw her smiling. She was, even at her worst time, she was always smiling. She always had energy. She was always happy. And my mom and my dad saw that. And even during the rain, she always had this habit when we were driving past, she'll run with the car. But yeah, in her yard. And when we were driving out, she would run again. And my mom and dad always saw that even rain, snow, hail, whatever the weather could be, even a tornado could come past and Sadie's running up and down and excited. And when my mom and dad saw that, you know what, there's no one in the house, everything's closed, and Sadie's left outside, we had no idea when she was fed, what happened, you know, if she was okay. Even though her face looked like she was okay, but you don't really know inside. And then my mom and dad said, you know what, we have, what was his name? Chomper. We had Chomper, the German Shepherd.
Okay.
And they're like, you know what, Chomper's all alone ever since Tabby passed away. Bring Sadie. Brought Sadie. There were two big dogs, but they didn't occupy much space. Like, there were two, like, lumps of joy.
Yes.
You know? it was a pleasure having them. It wasn't like an occupant. It wasn't like they were there taking up any space or in anyone's way. It was really fantastic, actually, having both of them there because they both brought energy. Seeing both of them, like, there and be playful with each other and not fight, one fighting for, you know, dominance of the household and the other one fighting to get No, it was just love. It was pure.
And that is interesting, especially given that they weren't trained previously, and then when they came into the house, they sort of behaved in a sense. Did you guys wonder that at all as to, because obviously getting two big dogs in one household, you're expecting some sort of tug and pull in terms of power, but when they were just peaceful, did you guys ever think to yourselves, this is interesting, man?
It was quite interesting because we never trained them. We trained them according to their behavior and the age that we got them. But it was quite interesting because we expected them, because of them having so much energy, we expected them to be all over the place, on the couch, on the fridge, on the bed. But they were very well behaved. And I mean, that's through their behavior, it made me grow so much of love and respect for them.
That's nice, right? So there wasn't a time where you guys had to separate them. Maybe on the first day you introduced them to one another?
No, not that I remember. And like, I think because Chomper was a male and Sadie was a female, I think there wasn't much of a clash. They both kind of like clicked. And they got along quite well. There wasn't really much of a clash where you'd see one fighting over the other's food or anything. They knew that they live under the same roof. They're both being loved. They're both being petted. It's better than where they were and where they are now, you know. So, yeah, it was quite good. I think the only clash I've had seen was my cat and Sadie.
Oh.
Because my cat thinks she's the bigger animal.
Oh.
That's Jenny, right?
Yeah, that's Jenny.
Well, cats always overestimate their size.
100%.
And I mean, you've had animals since 9, you said. But what is one misconception that you've come to see as a lie, as you've all obviously grown as a pet parent and as a person in the industry? One that like surprised you?
I think a lot of people used to tell me how having animals inside is very dirty. You know, they're meant to be outside and they're not meant to be inside. And Sadie and Licorice and Jenny, we give them baths like how we should, like twice in a month or once in a month or so. But I mean, the way that they behaved and they weren't so rowdy and everything with each other, and if you took your time to take care of them, they weren't for. In fact, an interesting fact that I learned about recently was cat's saliva is actually a lot more cleaner than human saliva.
Oh.
Yeah. 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 And I was actually really startled by that because apparently, like, cats are a lot cleaner, and just below that, dogs are cleaner. And I was like, okay, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. So they're cleaner than us, and we are afraid of them being in our house, you know? So yeah, I think that was a lot of people told me about, no, don't have them inside. How could you have your dog inside? The fur is all over. Yeah, there's fur all over. You drop hair all over. Like, come on.
Let's go look at your shower.
Yeah, exactly. It's human nature. It's human nature. It's animal nature, and it's just about how you end up taking care and accommodating one another in the house. That determines basically like the hygiene, the environment, and yeah.
And also, you've been in the pets industry, so you've had also encounters with pet parents, other pet parents for sure. And do you have anything like something exciting you've heard from a pet parent, or something you've seen, or something that was even a shocker for you as a pet parent when you started working in this industry?
There were quite a lot of shockers, actually. There was quite a lot. I've heard a lot of crazy stories from a lot of crazy pet parents, but all of it came down to common ground of love. And
100%.
And I think one of the most weirdest stories I've ever heard was someone came into the store one day looking at a dog harness, a small dog harness, and then looking at a cat harness. I was like, and I was there and I was like, hi, can I help you? Do you want to, are you looking for harness for your dog or for your cat? They're like, no, none of them. And they kept quiet. And I was like, okay, you don't have any of these animals, but you're looking at the harness. In my head. And I was like, okay, then how can I help you? You're looking at the harnesses. Like, no, I'm looking for one for my ferret. I was like,
what?
I was like, ferret. Ferret. And I was like, at that point, I was like, whoopee ferret. And then I went and I actually went back to the desk. I went and I Googled what a ferret was. I didn't know what a ferret was. And I was like, oh.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
I almost judged the poor guy.
And I was like, okay, a ferret. And I realized that there's a lot of other kinds of pets that people have, a lot of animals that people keep as pets that I never thought people would keep as pets,
Even the mixed breeds that we get, hey?
Yeah.
You get a weird mix. Remember, not so long ago, we saw that Jack Russell and Boxer mix. The cutest, exactly. But it was so weird because Boxer, Jack Russell, but it was the cutest dog. But it was just like a shocker for me because I'm like
a German Shepherd and a Maltese.
Exactly.
Thinking about the combination.
How did you guys even mate?
How do you do that?
It should be illegal.
Yeah. I mean, those are probably really lovely breeds, and
They are.
That's crazy.
It's just when you look at the logistics of things, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
You try and understand the process, but the process isn't processing.
Exactly.
So, but those are really nice, and I think of what breeds I've come across that were weird mix. There were quite a few because. People have the weirdest kinds of dogs. They don't have weird dogs. They have lovely dogs.
All dogs are lovely.
All dogs are lovely.
PSA.
But it's the breeding that goes on that I don't understand with people. And you think it's gonna go wrong, but it goes so right.
Yes.
It goes
Some
so
of them
And
just
they
work
even
well.
have names for them now.
The human names like Jenny. I mean, like
Even the combination, it'd be like a poodle and maybe a Maltese. They'd be like multi-poodle.
Yes,
like that,
yes,
So they even have names for these mixed dogs now.
the combination mixed breed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like names that I've never come across, and I'm still bound to come across that intrigue me, and like that's a beautiful thing about when you work in a pet industry.
You're always learning.
You're always learning. There's always something that you haven't found out about. There's always something to come, and like, gosh, there's just so much that can go on in a pet industry. And I think one of my favorite experiences was. So Bonnie, like she's such a lovely person as well. Where, I saw her dogs. I saw pictures of it. And by character, I can tell that, she has such lovely pets and stuff as well. And I remember the one time she really struck me because I asked her, like, how old is your dog? And then she's like, no, my dog has been battling this illness for a long time. I won't say what illness, but my dog has been battling this illness for a very long time. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm really, really sorry. And I was like, how old is your dog and what illness? He's like, no, my dog is 18. It's like, hold on.
18 years.
I've never heard a dog being 18 years.
Some even goes to 21 years, hey?
They do, but I've never come across someone that has an animal that is a adult.
Yeah.
That is an
A
adult.
teenager.
Yeah. That's a full-grown person. And like everyone's unique stories about the age, the type of breed, the type of animal that's their pet. I mean, it's shocking and it's really amazing. Like you'd want to know more, and it grows your love for all these pets afterwards. You end up loving ferrets even though you don't have a ferret.
Exactly.
And also, on the last episode, I was telling Amanda that when I started in this industry, I was shocked with the number of products. So just to check, you being a person who's been in the pet industry, was the products that actually shocked you? Like, what? Do we actually have this? I was shocked that it was actually tick and flea tablets, because at home we always used a shampoo for pets. And I was shocked that there is medication to calm pets. So do you have a shocker experience when you actually got to see the products that is out there for pets?
I was quite shocked that when it came to mange was like very common amongst like my friends' pets and even a lot of stray animals and stuff as well. And growing up, I didn't know like what treatments there were unless you had to take them to the vets.
Me as well,
and
hey?
get them done at the vets. And like if you think of the vets immediately, like thinking, oh shit, my wallet. And like when I came across like working in the pet industry, coming across like this product, it's called Ectodex. And I remember the one time we suspected Sadie of having mage. And when so thankful for that pet industry and the knowledge I've gained from the really and the experiences. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have known how to treat that, possible mage that she was getting. And when I've never ever used it before. It's a product I've never used before. Like that time until I purchased it, and then when I got it and I saw it in the bathtub, I was actually scared as well because of how little you have to use and how much comes from it and how the bubbles and because it looks like an acid killing kind of, but it's safe, for pets as well. And I was scared when I was using it for the first time, and like I was really happy that I found something like that for such a good price instead of going and paying like 3 times, 4 times more at the vets for everything else to get done and then bring her back home. So I was quite happy with that product specifically. And I mean, a lot more products alongside with that, with like the food. I've learned a lot. I never knew there's so much in just the food that they eat.
Exactly.
How it can help their bones, their muscles, their organs. It's crazy.
There's really also deodorant for pets, eh?
There's actually,
deodorants for pets.
There's deodorants for pets with different scents.
Different scents.
You're like, I'm here chilling with like one
Nivea.
And they have different scents. They have a variety of everything. Variety of shampoos, variety of deodorants, variety of chicken-free products, variety. They're going all out for
There's a
pets
big
these days.
range.
They actually, it is ridiculous. So Jose, 5 years from now, what do you see your pet parent situation going? Do you see yourself having more, less, or where do you see yourself?
Well, in 5 years' time, I would love, the one thing I always dream about, and I would love to give my babies that I haven't given them as yet. God forgive me for this, and even the viewers forgive me for this. But
We're judging you, Jose.
but other than our yard and outside by the field, I've always wanted to take my babies to the beach, and I haven't gotten like the chance where I can take them, put them in the car. Like they've been on car rides and stuff. They've been all over, but they haven't been to the beach. And I would love, like, in 5 years' time, where I can regularly take them to the beach. They can have the experience of the waves, the water, and stuff. Because by having them not, have that experience with water and stuff, I've noticed they've grown a fear for, like, large areas of water, like pools or lakes. So taking them on the regular hikes or taking them on the regular walks on the beach and strolls, I would love to do that with them, and I'd love to have a lot more Labradors and a lot more licorice Havanese. And in 5 years' time, I think I'd love to see myself also being a vet. Really.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So in 5 years, a beach house, more labs, more licorices, and a stethoscope. What is this like? The stethoscope.
Yeah. Honestly, because it's not just having them that grew my compassion, it's helping them that grew my compassion. And I mean, if I can have them and help them at the same time, then I'm the happiest man on earth.
Aww.
Yeah.
So let's just say now we bring Sadie, Licorice, Jenny, and they can definitely hear what she's saying. What would you tell them right now?
Yeah. Okay. For Sadie, you need to lose weight. And I love you so much. For Licorice, remember you're a small dog. And I love her so much. And for Jenny, try and work on my schedule more. And more than yours. And I love you so much too. So, yeah.
That is just absolutely beautiful. But you're literally giving them orders now. You do this, you do this. I'm sure that would be lovely for a lot of pet parents, being able to actually score them like children when they can actually stop it.
I mean, if there's one thing I could honestly give to them, like I could give off everything in the world and risk, is being able to communicate to them. Really, for them to talk back and for us to talk back to them. Because I always wondered what goes through their mind in a 24-hour cycle. I always wonder, is it food? Oh, you know?
Feed me human.
Yeah. But it's really fantastic, honestly. Getting that close to knowing what goes on in their mind by having them as your family and spending that time with them and, you know, picking up their personality.
Well, personally, I believe that pets communicate with you telepathically. Are you also that believer? Do you feel like they can sense you?
I am. I really am. I really am. Because, like, I mean, I'm sure you've had experience with as well, where, you know, you don't even have to tell them anything. You can just look at them and they know.
They know.
Yes.
That's why I'm
in trouble.
They know exactly. They did something wrong.
Yeah.
And they're like, So, I mean.
And they give you that guilty look all the time.
Yeah. And it's so nice because they have character. You know, they have character. They're not just wild animals.
No.
They babies, they family, they have personality. And like, I would give up anything just to hear what they have to tell me. Really.
You don't feed me enough, Sadie would say. Fresh would be like, move out of my bed, human. And Jenny would be like, why do you sleep so much?
100%. I couldn't.
This is definitely my bed. Yeah. You don't say that.
Out.
No, you know what? You couldn't be any more right, honestly. And I have a question for you guys as well. Do you believe that like pets go to heaven?
Yes.
I do.
They have the purest hearts.
And also, I just feel like they're heaven sent.
100%.
No, they are. They really are. Because there's no hate in them.
They've healed so many people. Why would they
have.
not even go to heaven?
Yeah.
A lot of people, pet parents have shared that they've been healed by their pets. So, I mean, that's why I feel like they're just angels walking in four legs.
No, they really are. I mean, I also have my experiences of, you know, being healed by them as well, especially being my lowest. So I can completely understand what you're saying and I can relate to that. And like...
Also, we need to see our pets again. Like, they don't live long enough on Earth. It's only right that we see them again in the afterlife.
No, 100%.
So-
100%. I'm not walking past those gates unless they...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not...
They're all standing there meowing and barking at you.
Exactly. I'd rather have Sadie open those gates for me than Peter. And, you know, it will be the best side. That will be heaven for me.
Yeah.
And having them here is like heaven on earth.
Jose, thank you so much for joining us, taking the time to come and be vulnerable with your experiences with your pets and just sharing with us your journey as a pet parent. It was a really, really lovely time. We will definitely have you again.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We need to hear more about those little three.
The musketeers.
Yes.
No, it was honestly so amazing being here, really. And I haven't actually got the chance in such a long time to sit down and share this kind of experience with anyone too. So having this, chance to speak about them and speak about my babies and the happiness of my life, I mean, it's such a pleasure. And I'm honestly so grateful to you guys, really.
It's like getting a chance to speak about your kids, hey?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We got you, don't worry.
Yeah. Whenever you feel like there's too much you want to release,
Yeah.
It's so fantastic. It really is. And I honestly can't wait to be joining again whenever, really.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so much. So before we let you go, what is one message you have for every single person who says, I'm not an animal person?
Yeah, you're missing out on happiness.
For
You're
sure.
missing out on peace. If you think peace is in money and your partner so much, yeah, maybe for a time, but you'll never get the loyalty and the love. The
The loyalty.
exactly. And the unconditional love
Oh,
from anyone else in the world but your pets. So, yeah.
you heard it here first, people. Get animals. Get pets. Thank you so much again, guys, for joining us for this amazing conversation with Jose. And we hope you guys have gotten a sense of what this podcast is going forward, with heartfelt stories about people's pets and everything relating to.
Thank you so much. So guys, do engage in those comment sections. Do send questions that you have for Rescue Heroes as well.
And as always, do not forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. For me, Amanda.
And me, Bonnie.
Till next time.